Welcome to Compliance Watch. In order to log into the platform, you're going to need your email and the password that it was given to you by the business consultant or you have received it by email. Once you input it, just click here, log in to Compliance Watch. Once you log in, this is the screen that you're going to see at the beginning of it, which is a dashboard. In this dashboard, you're going to be able to track all your remediations, the screening performance against your contract that you have done, and see the last remediated cases that are already performed by anybody on your team. Those are the main components out of the dashboard that you want to look at, but you also can see the batches recently created, uploaded. We will talk about it more in a bit, but you will be able to follow the case of your account. This especially for the admins of the accounts, they will have access to this dashboard and will be able to see what is going on, how many screenings, remediations have been done, and you're going to be able to follow them through. Okay, the next one, it's going to be a scan. A scan is probably the one that you're going to be using more because this is where you're going to perform your screenings, whether that is from an individual or that is an entity. In order to do that, please visualize this as some type of Google Advanced Search, where you're going to have your Google search engine and additional inputs that you want to put in order to be more accurate on your search. You can do that for individuals, which you're going to press here, or entities, or either or both if you don't know. That's something that is going to be available every time in your screening performance. We will come back to this in a minute. In case you want to search for any entity that you have already remediated, you will like to go into search. Here you're going to find options for you to search on those screenings that you have already performed and already remediated. So you're going to be able to go for any type of previously screening that you have done already, whether that is remediated or is a standby or is being assigned. In any case, you're going to be able to execute it here. For instance, I can search all for this month and it will take me back to the history of every single screening that I performed for this month, whether that is from my user or if I have the admin rights, I will see everybody's on my team. This is a very easy way to see where we stand in case you want to come back to a particular case and you don't remember what was the end result of your analysis. Very good. The tab My Queue is going to bring you to the history of all the searches that you have done. They're not already assigned or they're not remediated. And there's two ways that you can work around this. If you're an admin, you will be able to assign all these cases to specific users if you want to do that. You can assign to one particular person or multiple person. You can do that as one by one, or you can do the whole. Also, you can export this because this everything that you have queued in case you want to do any type of outside analysis is going to be able to have it here. So you will have all the history of unassigned, unremediated history within in your last performance. Okay, now let's analyze the tab reports. Here you're going to be able to execute 6 reports that we have available for you. A result summary by source, user comments, scoring of a screening, audit trail history, and username. In order to do that, it's going to be very simple. You have to select a time frame. For this case, I'm going to use a few months from now, and you will be able to select which type. Whether you have already tagged or remediated a case, you will be able to tell the computer which type of report or tag do you want to pull from it. In this case, I'm going to do all. Once you submit it, it will create a PDF with the information of the report. You can also select it by a specific user. If you're an admin, you will be able to execute that as well. Very simple, and you can come here and change the report anytime you like. Very good. Now we're going to analyze the tab Data. Data is where you can upload batch screenings. You can do that very simple by going into batch, and you will have the option to create a workflow or not create a workflow. If you decide to create a workflow, you need to assign it to a specific team in order for them to start working on and be able to name it for you to follow up. This is a way to create a case management of each one of your batch uploads. If you don't want to do that, which is fine, you don't need to create a workflow in every single case. It will automatically just ask you to upload the batch file, assign a couple of questions, and once you upload it, you will be able to see the findings of that batch report. In order to see the findings, you will receive an alert of the specific batch, but you can also go into view batches and you will see every single batch that you have performed and the overall results of that batch. So it will categorize all the findings under those names, individuals, and entity, and will categorize them in high alerts, medium alerts, duplicate, and errors. So that way you will be able to see at first glance and you can go into detail and see what was the result of that batch in particular. Finally, we're going to have the tab More. Here you're going to be able to change the platform to 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Russian, and Portuguese. You can do it at any time and it's available for all users. Once you want to change it, just click in the particular language and then automatically the platform will be changed to that specific language. Okay, coming back on how to make a screening. To begin with, again, you need to be in Scan tab. Once you're here, then you need to input at least 2 minimum data. The first one, which is the name. Let's put this example, Donald Trump. And the country. You want to do that at least in order for you to give you better results, but you can also just search generic and it should be able to give you a result as well, although very generic. So I'm searching Donald Trump as an individual in the United States. Those elements should give me enough information in order to perform my first screening. So now what Compliance Watch is doing is screening against every list that we have, and it's going to bring you the results that you need in order to make your analysis. So in this case, you're going to see Donald John Trump and Donald John Trump Jr., which, as you can see, it has 100% high confidence score, 98 confidence score. This is a way in Compliance Watch for us to let you know that the match of the specific search that you did and you're gonna find here, it's how close it is. So you will always see a score of those possible findings of false positive review within the tool. In this case, once you're in, if you click on this small arrow, it will give you the information on that particular entity. You will have a summary here on the list, the sources that we have, the type of risk that is related, which if it's in this case anything that it has a specific sanction or anything that we can consider like a probable high risk for you, you need to assess it and decide whether that is something that is risky or not. It will give you a summary of what the Compliance Watch has found. It also is going to give you the whole information and reference. So you will have all the information here, including the articles, including any type of match sources, type, location, everything you're going to see in more deep level in all information tab. External links, those references from this name, such as adverse media or any other information that is relevant for you, although also the adverse media is going to be visible within this section as well. So here in the all information, you're going to have everything available for this particular person. This is how you can assess a particular name, screening. So my suggestion is that once you hit summary and you analyze this is the person that you're looking for, then you can go into all information and from there make the assessment on whether that person is going to be considered a risk for you or not. Now, this is on how to view our results on screenings, but you can also do case management of that particular name that you have searched, and you will find it here on the right hand side. This is everything related to case management. So I can remediate if this is the person that I was looking for, if from my point of view this is a person that I need to be considered as either a false positive or a match accepted or a match decline or pending to review. I can able to execute any of this, and if I do that, once I do that, like match accepted, I can add comments. Team, this is a high risk, and then remediate. So now I want to remediate this case. In order to remediate, the first thing you got to do is select the profile that you want to remediate. And under this tab, you will see the options that Compliance Watch gives you, which in this case is false positive, match accepted, match decline, or pending. In this case, I see this is the account that I'm looking for. This is the right name, so I'm going to put match accepted. And then I'm going to put a comment to the team. This is a high risk. And then I'm going to remediate. Automatically, then I'm going to see that John Trump, it's being remediated. Okay, so as you can see right now, I have a flag, review match verified and accepted. If I want to look at the profile and I see profile comments, I can see the comments that I did, and also I can see the comments for the team. Okay, so you're gonna be able to do this for every single screening that you can do. That way you keep a record, and as I mentioned before, if you want to search for it in the near future, you should be able to search it here, any remediation that you have performed. Okay, now if I want to, I can continue adding more comments, or any user can continue to add comments to that remediated profile in case it's necessary. If somebody from the team needs to assign it to a particular user on the account, you're able to do that. Also, you can do it before you even remediate. That's a feature that is available there. And you can print the results. When you print the results, you're going to get a full summary of everything that you have done here for you to track it, save it, keep it, or store it for a specific audit trail in particularly. And you can see the whole audit trail of what I have done. In case you need to also extract that information in Excel, it's also available for you. This is very helpful for some companies that really need to keep track of everything that happens. So you're going to be able to see that here. So that is the main features on case management. It's a very simple way of assessing. You should be able to perform it in any screening. And like I said, take advantage of the assign feature. That's going to help you a lot of interaction between users, and it's going to help your team do better. So now let's talk about the News tab that you have on top here. The News app gives you access to the full archive of different media that relates that name that you search, also correlated with some topics that we already set for it, such as corruption, money laundering, negative media in general. So it will give you a full glance of what's going on that particular name that you search. Of course, in this case, Donald Trump has a lot of media, and it will populate it at least the top 100 articles that the tool has already identified. We can also configure this to have a bigger threshold if it's needed, but you can be able to click on any of those and see the article live of it. It's going to be very handy when there's articles that are not being completely assessed under adverse media. And for instance, going back to the profile of Donald Trump, everything that you see here as an adverse media is because already had a treatment of somebody reviewing if that particularly news has relevancy or it's considered something under compliance. So definitely something you really need to be able to distinguish. So any information that you want to see under compliance environment assessment, it is available in here under this tab. This has already somebody from our team reviewing whether that article makes sense to have it in, that could be considered a risk for that particular name. On News tab, it's everything related to the naming specific. It works without anybody making any type of assessment. That's why you have a broader range, and it's also going to give you to link it. You can create that link, attach it to the profile as well, in case you need to. Okay, so let's make another scan. Let's go for a person, and we're going to search this name that you might be familiar with, Luis Ignacio da Silva, and then we're going to search in Brazil, Like I mentioned before, at least make sure you try these two pieces of information. Is going to help you streamline the search. You can also input any other information. It will help you be more precise, so feel free to input it. So again, the same way as we found in the case that we did for Donald Trump, you have the high confidence score here, also the information related to PEPs, particularly for the Brazil database, and you will see the same amount of information that, comparing to Donald Trump in case that you need to assess. Of course, each one of those records are different, but you will be able to see everything of if it was sanctioned, if it wasn't sanctioned, if it was an adverse media, if it was a PEP, if it is a PEP. You will be able to see the same amount of information or similar depending case by case, and also all the different sources that we have available for you guys that you can also compare and understand better. So you can assess every single of them, remediate the same way that we did in the case of Donald Trump. You can select it, create comments, or some of the features that I like the most, which is assign it to a particular person for them to keep track of it. So once I do that, you will be able to assign it to a person for him to follow through. So if we go back into my queue, it's going to be very relevant for you. You will see everything that I have screened recently, and you will be able to see those screenings that I did, and that way you know what it's pending or things to be done still open. But if you have remediated already, you want to go here. You want to go to search, and here you want to see those cases that were remediated. So for instance, today I can be very broad, and it will bring me all the cases that were remediated today. So that's a way for you to keep track on them, be able to see what's going on, and be able to keep your account follow through. Especially if you're an admin of the platform, you will be able to see that from all you users. So it's pretty helpful, and you will be able to perform better and leverage the tool very nicely. Well, that's it from my end. If you would like to send us your questions through an email, we should be happy to respond. And also feel free to contact your business consultant and our support for any question. Make sure that you're able to execute as I presented, or if it's anything that you're still not able to execute correctly, let us know. Everything is going to keep track. You feel free to use reports as well. And we're here to help you out. Thank you for watching this video.